Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Empire Season 4, Episode 1. This is the season premiere, and the name of this episode is Noble Memory. Now, we saw from the season finale of Season 3 that there was a big explosion to Lucious' car. Lucious actually gets injured, but he actually saves Cookie's life by pushing her away. So now he's recovering, and he has lost his memory, and now he's going through the process of getting his memory back, and he's working with this specialist named Claudia, who's actually played by the great Demi Moore, huge fan, and definitely we're starting to see a lot with this episode. But before I get started with my review, let me give my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Harvey, and Hurricane Jose. If you can give relief and give assistance to everyone that was affected, please do so, because they really need our help. So, let me get started with this review. Empire is celebrating its 20th anniversary. It's kind of, it pretty much is like reminiscent of Motown 25, where all the artists came together and they actually celebrate, the legacy of the label. But the legacy of Empire is Lucious. And we see that both Andre and Cookie are giving commentary, talking about the launch of Empire's 20th anniversary. We see that Cookie breaks down thinking about Lucious, about the aftermath of what happened. And we see that Andre, when it really came down to the question of, would he pick his father over the Empire, he kind of choked up and couldn't continue, because we know Andre was behind the bombing of that car in Las Vegas. Because remember, him and Shine, were conspirators in saying we're going to kill Lucious and take over the Empire. But then we saw at the season finale, Lucious and Cookie were going to go off away and see the world, and they were going to turn over the reins to Andre. So all of a sudden, Andre wanted to call off the hit, but Shine's a goon. So when you put out a hit, there ain't no turning back. So Shine blew up. Shine pretty much had the car blown up, which injured Lucious. And, now Andre is living with that guilt. But he still wants to take the Empire. But Shine really is kind of like holding that over his head. Because he said that, first of all, we both took down Lucious. So it ain't just me. It was we, because we both conspired to do this. But what's crazy is that there's an ongoing investigation involving that explosion. They're even looking at Juliana, because Juliana did threaten him before she left. So, and Thirsty is actually behind, talking to the feds and all of that. And of course, Shine is kind of keeping an ear to it for finding out what's going on. And he had a moment with Becky. And let me say, the voice today, you are doing wonders, girl. You are looking beautiful. Keep up the great work. You look fantastic, honey. And it's like I'm loving seeing Becky's character grow. But yeah, she was also in, because she's working along with Thirsty, so she's pretty much in the loop about what's going on. But Shine pretty much is letting Andre know, you lied and said that we was going to be running the Empire, but it seems like Cookie's running everything. And Andre lets Shine know that, look, the board wanted to keep Mom on, but once she steps down, they're going to hold the reins over to me. And Shine's like, you better hope so. Because Shine ain't for the bullshit at all. He was in this game to take over, and now, and I can probably say if they don't hold over the reins to Andre, Shine is going to do something. Shine is going to do something terrible and beyond comprehension. Okay, we see that the beginning of the episode, they show the 20th anniversary, special. And the big thing about the special, that this will be the first appearance from Lucious Lyon since that accident. It's him coming back to the Empire. But we see that Lucious, is walking with a cane. He doesn't seem like his real self. Cookie's right there with him, and Cookie is looking gorgeous, honey. She is snatched with that blonde hair and that dress. And we even see a scene they actually run into Carlotta. And for those of you who are fans of Star, yes, you know, Carlotta is that business, and she's trying to get him to work with her group. But Cookie is like literally dismissing her, saying like, now it's not the time. You can call some of our, you can call some of our associates, and we'll set up something. But right now, it ain't the time. So she pretty much blows off Carlotta, but she pretty much, you know, knows Lucious because her and her girl group, along with Mary, who stars mom, they used to sing backup for Lucious back in the day, and she was saying that, you know, you used to love Mary's voice, but now I'm doing a group with Mary's daughters, and you need to hear them. But Cookie's like, oh no, we is not here for that right now. We'll talk to you later. So they completely blow her off. So, and we see that this is like a big extravaganza. You know, Hakeem and Jamal are working on performances, and it's going to be like a lit extravaganza. And while they show a scene where pretty much Lucious and Cookie are walking, in the press and the paparazzi are flashing cameras, all these people are asking questions, and he just literally has a freak out and begins to panic and just goes off. And we definitely see that even, you know, he still hasn't regained his memory, and he has these triggers that if they're ignited, he would just flip out. You know, any type of aggression or any type of, you know, tension will make Lucious lose it. So we saw that happen, and then it went back 24 hours earlier, and we see that Lucious is arriving along with Claudia, the nurse, and I got my eye on for Claudia, and I'm going to tell you why, because I don't trust that bitch. Don't trust her at all. And neither does Cookie. You know, Cookie is a true hustler, and true hustlers recognize game, and she's already recognizing game with Claudia, because she literally has this overall control over Lucious, and she refers to Lucious as the white, not Lucious. So we're seeing a totally different side of who Lucious Lyon is now. And he finally arrives home, and we come to find out that he lost his leg. So now he's wearing a prosthetic leg, and he's walking with a cane and walking with crutches. And they're trying to get him to remember things, but he's not remembering much of anything. And they played some of the music that he's made, and he's saying, oh my God, am I really that violent? Oh my goodness, did I really think about this? But then we also see that Cookie really is running Empire, and she's been running it since Lucious has been, you know, hospitalized. And she's trying to arrange this whole 20th anniversary special. And I think she was working with, I think this girl with this long hair, I think that was Portia. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but if that was Portia, she didn't come up a lot, because baby looks good. You know, the hair is laid, the makeup is right. She has literally stepped it up. And then Becky also is looking snatched. So they all working on this plan. And then Cookie is like trying to tell Lucious that, look, this 20th anniversary special is going to be big. It's going to be seen by 1 million people. And, you know, you need to go and represent. You need to be there and represent the brand. This whole show is about you, and you need to make an appearance. And then Claudia's like, well, you shouldn't be making this conversation about your brand. Cookie's like, first of all, it's our brand, because we built this together. But let me holler at you for a minute, girl. And she pretty much let her know that, look, at the end of the day, why the hell's his memory ain't back yet? You were supposed to got him together, and he's still struggling. What have you been doing? And Claudia's like, look, this is a slow process. This is, you know, a new form of therapy. You know, he will come around eventually, but it's going to take some time. You just have to be patient and let me do my job. And then we see later on, you know, we actually see that the white has a thing for Claudia, and Claudia is like really playing along with it. So I'm thinking that whole time she's been romancing. She's been pretty much, you know, somewhat sexually abusing Lucious, and that's my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what's been going on, because we see him like they sitting on a bench together, and he's like, "Can I kiss you?" And probably she would have let it happen, but she knows she got eyes watching her because she's a snake. And if anything, it got to the point where after Cookie saw that, she pretty much told Claudia, "You know what, bitch? Get your shit and get the hell out of here." And she's like, look, I don't know what's going on. She's like, yeah, I see you trying to will your way into Lucious and all that. She's like, look, it's not like that. He just confides in me because I've always been there. You know, he's having a hard go at this. And she's like, oh yeah, I know he has a hard go. He has a hard go in his pants. And I was like, you better tell her, Cookie. Like pretty much saying, I see you, ho. I see you. Okay. You know, I pretty much discussed what was going on with Andre. They're still looking into the investigation. Andre has told them all he knows, but we know Andre lied about it because Andre was behind it along with Shine. So they pretty much saying that somebody told the feds because they're not letting this go. And we come to find, so pretty much what we end up seeing is that Shine actually finds the guy who detonated the bomb. And he's been hiding out, but Shine found out where he was. Then we see towards the end of the episode, you know, Shine is about to pay this dude some money to do another bombing, and he pretty much called Andre on the phone, and this was pretty much post the 25th anniversary special, and he pretty much says that, you know, hold on, Andre, and, you know, I'm gonna get back to you in a second. Just hold on right quick. So he pretty much gives the guy money, thinking he's gonna get a job, and he's like, and then the next thing you know, Shine pulled out a heat and blew his damn brains out. He said, that'll teach you, you damn snitch. So we found out the bomber snitched them, pretty much, you know, snitched them out, and that's why they're looking into Empire and looking into the Lyons family as to who was behind the bombing. So pretty much we come to find out that the bomber's been talking because he obviously got scared, and you know, when people scared, they'll pretty much run down every damn body to get off. So that's what happened there. Now Jamal. Now we remember from the season finale, Jamal met Warren, who's played by the great, and I mean one of the great vocalists I've seen in a long time, played by the great Terrell Carter. You know, shout out to him. But he's playing the role of Warren, and he's been there supporting Jamal, you know, as a friend and a confidant since Lucious' accident. We can tell that they're getting closer and closer, but they haven't consummated the relationship yet. But they are dating. But you know, Jamal's trying to take it slow. But we see that Warren is putting his claws in because we learned from the season finale he's actually the grandson of Miss Diane. You know, and we already know Miss Diane has definitely got her hands in a lot, and I'm definitely going to get to her. But we see that, you know, Jamal has built this strong confidence in him, but I can kind of sense that Warren is really starting to like Jamal. And when we see Warren the next time, he's talking to Miss Diane, and she's like, I don't know what you're doing. You normally knock down towers by now. I don't know what's taking you so long. And she's like, well, look, he just experienced an accident with his father. He's in a difficult space. And she's like, well, you need to step it up, you know, because, you know, because, you know, your father would if he was in this situation. You so much like him. He's like, I'm nothing like my father. And she's there getting a massage, too, you know. She's like, could you excuse yourself, please, talking to the masseuse. He leaves and she's like, listen here, boy. I'm going to take down the Lions. Is this the last thing I do? Cookie humiliated my family and humiliated my son with her acts, and to pay her back, I'm going to do it threefold. I'm going to take down each of her offspring, and I am going to eat their bones while she watches helplessly as I do it. So that's what's going to happen, so I need you to step it up and do what you're supposed to do. Do we understand each other? And of course Warren agreed. And she's like, okay, Mark, you can come back. Yes. I was like, oh, this Ice Queen. Yo, Diane is a evil bitch. And she's pretty much got her hands in a lot. Because we can actually see she's still blackmailing Hakeem because she wants Hakeem to take Bella to her every Tuesday. You know, we actually see the scene where Hakeem's about to go and take Bella out, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, he's talking to Bella. He's like, yeah, you know, we're going to have some fun, baby girl. You know, we're going to talk about, and then all of a sudden, Diane, and all of a sudden he opens the door. Diane is right there, and she's like, well, what about Auntie Dai Dai? I was like, no, she's not. She's like, you didn't fulfill our arrangement. And he's like, look, we done. Like, what you talking about? She's like, no, we're not. You were supposed to bring Bella to me every Tuesday. Why haven't I heard? And then she starts asking about Anika. Like, yeah, I heard about Anika being locked up. What's going on with her? And he's like, look, they still denying her bail. It's like, hey, it's probably for good reason anyway. Shady. And then she asked about Lucious, and I'm glad that your father's doing okay. But as I said, we have an arrangement. And she's saying that, well, you never said what the arrangement is. And she's like, maybe my arrangement is that I want to see Bella every Tuesday. I mean, after all, I do have ammunition, and I did give her back to you. I mean, you could at least honor it. He's like, yeah, I honor it, but we're done, Miss Diane. We're done. Like, you need to stop this crap. And she's like, oh, I don't think so. She starts pulling up the pictures of him and Anika getting that baby Bella that we saw in season 3. She took pictures of the whole thing. She says that, now what would your mother think if she saw this? An act like this would be considered treason. How do you think how do you think Cookie's gonna handle this? He's like, well, she's probably gonna beat my ass like she always does. I'm like, so if you don't want me to expose that you betrayed your family, I suggest you have Bella at my house next Tuesday. Toodles! And I'm like, see, she is doing entirely too much. And I'm just waiting to see her and Cookie come to blows. So I definitely see it happening. Next, so pretty much, that's pretty much a lot that went on. She's trying to, and we also see that Cookie's trying to connect to Lucious. He is feeling a connection to her, but he still doesn't know who he fully is. And like, out of all the music that they've been listening to, he only liked one song, and I think it was off of his 4th album. And let me see, what was the name of that song? Because I did write it down. Oh, it was a song called Love Me. That was on his album, and it was a big hit. But Lucious put the writing credit to Bunky and somebody else, when the real writer was Cookie. Because he said that the one song that I loved out of all the music I've done was that song. And then we come to find out, he had visited her, I think in prison when she was locked up at the time. And, she also Lucious knows that there's been a 17-year gap between him and Cookie's relationship. But she's not being fully, she's not telling him everything right now because she doesn't want to trigger him. But she, so pretty much, they pretty much, the whole story is that, Lucious was having writer's block. He went to go visit Cookie, and Cookie gave him this song that she's been working on in jail. And pretty much it's about family, and it's about her love for Lucious. And that was a big hit for him, and Cookie never got the songwriting credit for it. So that started to sit with him like, why would I do something like that? I mean, you should be honored for the work that you've done. Why isn't your name listed, as being the writer and the creator of this music? So we actually see that Lucious is having a different turnaround since that event. And we're seeing a different side of Lucious that we've never seen before. And we now probably are starting to understand why Cookie loves him so much, because I think that's the guy that she's always seen. That he really is a sweet person, but the streets and the life made him the treacherous bulldog that he is. So we see that going on. And that's the only song that he liked. Then we get a dinner table scene with the family, and it goes completely left. Because they're trying to get his memory back, and, Hakeem is getting frustrated, and, everyone's kind of getting frustrated about what's going on, and, he's asking certain questions, and Cookie's not trying to answer because she's not trying to trigger, and then also Claudia is sitting right there on the side looking in on everything. And things just go left because, Andre and Hakeem get into it, and, Hakeem is like, well, I mean, he's like, come on, you know the answers, Andre. I mean, after all, you think you better than all of us anyway. You always walking around with some damn halo on your head. Won't you fucking say what the hell we should do? And Andre gets mad, and then, you know, all of a sudden he kind of flips out. He's like, man, why don't you just tell him the truth? He's saying that, look, Lucious Lyon was a beast. He was a warrior, and he wasn't some punk-ass nigga walking around with no leg on some crutches. And this upset Jamal. He's like, you ungrateful little bastard. First of all, if it wasn't for this man and you supposedly want to be gangster, you wouldn't be walking around with that ugly-ass chain on your neck if it wasn't for Lucious. So it gets crazy. Lucious flips out and was like, and he just kind of like goes off. It's like, I can't take this. I cannot take this. You know, I don't remember anything, and I'm tired of all of you trying to tell me who I'm supposed to be when none of you know who you are. And I was like, ooh, Lucious is keeping game. And then it looked like he's about to jump in the because they were eating along the pool, and then he went by the actual lake that he has in his backyard, and they thought he was going to jump in, but they all stopped him, and we see Claudia looking, just, you know, taking it all in. So I'm like, yeah, I don't trust Claudia as far as I can throw her. Claudia's trying to put her bid in for Lucious and for the Empire, so she's slowly but surely wheeling her way in and trying out her own mess. Because then it goes back to the actual night of the 20th anniversary, and we go back to the scene. Oh yeah, and we did have a short scene with Tiana and Tori. Tori done relapsed and shit. She come into Tiana's studio like, hey girl, what's up? And she's like, you know what? I cannot deal with you right now. You need to get the hell out of here. And she's like, oh, come on, baby. I miss it when you used to taste my toes. I'm like, you messy bitch, get on. But yeah, shout out to Rumor Willis. I actually, when I was doing my laundry today, I actually saw her on Access Live, and she was talking about her and her mother both being on Empire and how they have this close relationship, and they look a lot alike. Even more so than my mother thought Claudia was Rumor. And I'm like, no, Mom, that's not her. Like, that's Demi Moore. You know, both of them are on the same show. But they're killing it, though. So shout out to, you know, Rumor Willis as well as Demi Moore, because they are definitely doing their thing with their roles. So we see that Tori has relapsed, and, you know, Tiana is also a part of the performance, too, because there's this duet with Hakeem, Jamal, and Tiana. They kill it. That song is hot. I mean, they definitely kill their set. Lucious is freaking out in the back, and Cookie's trying to calm him down, you know, but then all of a sudden Claudia comes out with this form-fitting dress. The hair is down. She is giving Demi Moore realness, looking snatched. And Cookie's like, oh, what the hell? Where you get that dress? Were you in the makeup closet? I was like, ow! That was hilarious. I was like, Cookie know how to throw them jabs. So she's like, Dwight. And she's like, yeah, they have to call him Dwight because that's what she's trained him to respond to. He doesn't respond to Lucious, and he doesn't even know who Lucious is. And she's like, I don't even know who that is at all. So now Cookie's challenge is to get him to know who Lucious is. So we see, you know, Claudia's trying to work her magic, but then she's like, you know, just be in the present, you know, be for the now, you know, be with me. And she's like, oh no, boo boo, be with me. And then we see Cookie takes over, and then after Tiana, Hakeem, and Jamal perform, they introduce Lucious Lyon. For a while, it's you hear nothing. You know, everybody's waiting for Lucious. I mean, everybody's there. You know, the crew's there, Warren's there, Tori's there. You know, everybody's at this event because this is pretty much like their Motown 25. I mean, and we know how epic Motown 25 was because that's the first time we saw Michael Jackson moonwalk to Billie Jean. Yes, and I watched that, you know, from front to back. I love Motown 25. So this episode was kind of reminiscent of that. You know, Empire is celebrating 20 years and celebrating the legacy, which is Lucious Lyon. So they're calling for Lucious. They don't hear anything. And then all of a sudden we see Lucious finally come out slowly but surely, and Cookie is with him. And he finally talks to the audience, to the Empire. And, you know, he talks about, you know, this is a one song that I want to get out of my chest. This is the one song that has kept me going. And it was written by this beautiful woman here, Cookie Lyon. You know, it's called Love Me. And then we see that Jamal and Hakeem perform the song. and they were killing it too. And then, like, all of a sudden, you know, Lucious and her sitting, he's like, what's wrong, Cookie? You don't remember the words? And then Cookie starts singing the words and everything. So it's like, yeah, that's right, girl. And then we pretty much see, after the fact, you know, everybody goes off, does their own thing. And we see that Lucious is there by himself. And he's saying that, look, I just pretended just like everybody else was doing. I don't remember any of this. I didn't know anything. I just did what you wanted me to do. And I wish I can remember, but I don't. I don't remember at all. And then all of a sudden we saw Claudia come, and it's like, come on, let's go to White. And she's like, Lucious, you gonna remember me, baby, because I'm Cookie and I'm unforgettable. I'm like, you gotta work, Miss Cookie. Yes! Better claim your man. Because she's like, oh, it's war. And we definitely see, like, when him and Cookie were together, Claudia was in the back looking all simple and stank. I'm like, see, this bitch got an angle. She is moving like a snake in the garden, and y'all better chop off her head before she bites your heel. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear you. And plus, you know, I definitely am about to do Star and Greenleaf tonight. So I definitely got my night full, but I'm happy to do this because I love you guys, and I want to thank you all for the love and support you've shown me. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, I started a GoFundMe. You know, check it out. I'll have that link in the description box. But also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Empire. So until then, everybody, take care.